Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Unfound Podcast Channel on YouTube. I am, of course, Unfound's host, Ed Densel. I hope everybody is doing fantastic out there. Before I get started, I hope that you will like this video. If you are not yet a subscriber, please hit the little button in the bottom right-hand corner. And if you would like to support what we do here at Unfound, please hit the join button below, and for a very, very low price per month, you get some stuff that other people do not get. As the title suggests, this is a map analysis for the disappearance of Tony Schwark. Of course, he did not go missing by himself. He went missing with a friend of his, Dennis Bagnall, and another guy, Bobby Majors, who was actually a citizen of the Bahamas. And so I'm just going to show you what they were supposed to be doing that day, allegedly. Of course, it's up for you to decide what actually happened. What you're looking at, as you can see here on the screen, that is the east coast of Florida. And right off the side there, right off the coast of Florida, there is or are the Bahama Islands. They're very spread out. There are quite a few of them, as you can see, and even one down here that's actually off the screen because I'm zoomed in a little bit. But we're going to be concentrating on the Freeport area and everything to the west of it. You can see that the Bahamas, or Freeport in the Bahamas, is really not that far away from the West Palm Beach, Boynton Beach, Boca Raton area. In fact, looking at the scale here, in fact, I think I will just do a little measuring of the distance for you here. Just if we were to go straight west from Freeport in the Bahamas to the coast of Florida, it's 82 miles. Yeah, not close. Of course, if you're driving in a car, that's like nothing. In a boat, it's going to be seem a lot farther than that because you can't go 75, 80 miles an hour in a car, in a boat that you can in a car, at least here in the United States. But you should also know that it is not unusual for boats to be going between these two locations. In fact, there's many boats that are going to the rest of the Bahama Islands all the time. Of course, they also have a lot of propeller planes that fly between the locations, day trips or whatever else. But boats going to the Bahamas, not unusual at all. So keep that in mind. But there's going to be a little bit of a wrinkle in this that I'll get to in a second. So you can see right here from the closest point in Florida to Freeport, which is allegedly where they were getting this boat, is only 82 miles, 132 kilometers for our listeners outside of the United States, or viewers outside of the United States. And the boat that they were getting, this isn't some little bass boat, but it's not exactly a fishing trawler either. It's a high-speed boat. It's one of these cigarette boats that, my perception, they did get popular in the 1980s because of Miami Vice and things like that. They're used for racing, although I'm still not sure what this one looked like, how long it was, how powerful it was. But these are sleek boats, some of the fastest that were being made at the time. And it's a boat, if the water is pretty calm, I'm guessing you could go like 30 miles an hour. So them thinking that they would be back from Freeport to the coast of Florida in 4 hours is totally a reasonable amount of time. However, there is a little bit of a hitch in this, and maybe if we really want to do this accurately, allegedly we're going to Fort Lauderdale, so that's where Fort Lauderdale is. But there is one other thing, and this didn't come up in the interview, and I just want to throw this out there because it's, whether this is true or not is not clear. But this other guy that was with them, the actual Bahama resident, there is a story out there that actually he was not supposed to go the whole way to Florida with him, that he might have been getting dropped off on the island of Bimini. And I'm going to show you where that is. It's a little bit out of the way, and I don't want to do it that way. So we'll maybe do this. We'll put that down there, and then we'll do that. No, that's not going to work either, Ed. So let's just start over here. So we have this point here, measure distance. We got this point there, and then we got that point there. There we go. Okay. So that says, so instead of it being 82 miles to go from Freeport to Bimini, and if you've heard of Bimini before, that's where the Bimini Road is. They thought that this was some like ancient civilization that had put a stone road and it's under the water, and they actually eventually figured out that it was actually a natural occurring phenomenon. That's where this happened, in Bimini. But you can see here that it's actually a total of 126 miles, which once again, not crazy. A boat of that type, you could carry extra fuel on it, or the tanks just themselves would certainly be enough, I think, to go those 126 miles. Of course, they might have been able to get gas in Bimini possibly as well to make the rest of the journey. And if I had to really, I guess, break this down, it looks like maybe from here to here is about 80 miles or something like that, and then here to here, or maybe 70 miles and 55 miles, something like that. I think that's close to maybe how this all, or 45 miles, something like that. That's how it breaks down. Excuse me. There is one other consideration, though, in all of this. As I talked about in the summation after the interview in the episode, I did do a weather check as best as I could find out for that day in 1986 in Fort Lauderdale. Seems like it was a pretty nice day. Seems like it. And I went even to see, was there maybe a front that had moved in before or after this that might have been going east or west in this area around that time. Nothing that I could find. On the other hand, if you want to go in this direction, this kind of is on the edge of the Bermuda Triangle, if you buy into such things. That the actual Bermuda Triangle actually cuts down kind of like right in here. Remember, it's Bermuda, and kind of cuts over here to Miami. It cuts like right in here. So they're kind of in that area. I'm not a person who believes in that kind of stuff and the supernatural and UFOs and Atlantis and things that have been brought up. You can find all sorts of YouTube videos on that stuff. I'm not a believer in that, but it's something that we have to, some of you maybe do, so maybe that'll come to mind. But the wind was actually coming in a direction from the northeast at 20 miles an hour. And like I said, living here at the beach and seeing the Gulf every day, I can look at the water now after 4 years and pretty much tell you what the wind temperature is without having to look, online or anything, just by looking at the water itself. You get up to 20 miles an hour winds, especially out in the water where it's not going to be knocked down by anything. It's a little breezy, not necessarily dangerous, not going to be big waves or anything, but just to throw something out there, if they did get out here and they decided to go full throttle, hey, they got this fast boat, let's take advantage of it. Whether they were doing something illegal or not, it doesn't even matter. You hit one wave the wrong way and everybody's getting thrown out of the boat pretty quickly if you're going fast enough. In fact, there's a very famous YouTube video of some people in a boat very similar to the one we're talking about for this disappearance. And they're all going along, and then it hits something, and there's like a GoPro camera, and they just all go flying out. It's like smooth 1 second, and the very next second they're all out of the boat. It's like a very famous boat video from like 10 years ago or something. Got millions and millions of views. So we might be open to that. This was not placid sailing. They were not, cruising across some, man-made lake. Some reservoir here in the United States that was created by a dam or anything like that. I mean, this is the Atlantic Ocean. In addition, all it takes is one squall to ruin your day, something that maybe, was there and gone in a matter of minutes, and that happens. Living here in Florida, I know, I've seen it. So these are all things that we have to keep in mind. So if they were out here and they did leave and they were going to Bimini, then to Fort Lauderdale, 126 miles, that's a long time in a boat, but you're out there with your, friend, you got enough water, enough food and everything, you'd think the time would pass. It's quite an adventure. And I even have to say, if I was asked to go get somebody's boat, of course, not no drug dealer or anything, if that even happened, but if it was just legitimate, please go get this boat for me in the Bahamas, and my brother Brian wanted to go along with me, I think I would do it. I think that might be a pretty good adventure. It just might take some more precautions. Of course, it is the 21st century with GPS and satellite phones and things, that if you do go overboard, you're much more likely to get rescued. So we have to keep that in mind. So that's the map analysis. They're here. They were going to here in Fort Lauderdale. There is a story that they might have to go to Bimini first to drop this guy off, and then a very short trip. But somewhere in all of that, something happened. And that's for you to decide what. So once again, please give this video a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to this channel or even joining this channel. I would appreciate it. And I will talk to you again very soon. Thanks for watching.